I remember that day as if it were etched into my bones, cold, sharp, unforgiving. I was just a girl then, fragile yet desperate to prove I belonged. My so-called friend, the one I trusted with my secrets, casually leaned in during that small-town gathering and whispered, "You know, your family's already given up on you. They've moved on. You're just a disappointment they've already discarded." The words hit harder than any punch. Humiliation flooded my veins. Blinding and relentless. The crowd's laughter, the pity in their eyes, everything blurred into a haze of shame. I felt myself shrinking beneath the weight of their judgment, a failure branded by my own blood. They saw me as nothing but a disgrace, a lost cause. I was broken, cast aside like yesterday's trash. In that moment, I made a choice. I would not stay defeated. I would leave this town, leave their words, their mockery burned into my soul like scars I refused to hide. I packed my bags with trembling hands, but inside something ignited. A fire fueled by their cruelty. I clung to their words, not as weights, but as fuel, proof that I had to prove them wrong, prove myself right. Every step away from that place was a step toward my own salvation. The road was brutal, days of sweat, nights of doubt, relentless struggle. I worked harder than I had ever worked in my life. I devoured every book, seized every opportunity, pushed through every setback. I refused to be defined by their failure to see my worth. I transformed pain into purpose, doubt into determination. Every failure they predicted for me only sharpened my resolve. Years blurred into a relentless pursuit of something greater. I built myself from the ground up, training, studying, hustling. I became stronger, smarter, more unstoppable. Success didn't come easy, but I fought for it with every fiber of my being. I was no longer that fragile girl, trembling at their words. I had forged a new identity, resilient, fierce, unbreakable. And then, one day, I returned, not to seek revenge, but to show what I had become, the living proof that their words were lies. I walked into that town, eyes steady, voice unwavering. I stood before the very people who once cast me aside, who believed I was finished. I looked them in the eye and let my silence say everything. I had risen above their scorn, turned their cruelty into my triumph. My success was my silent rebuke, a testament to my resilience and defiance. I watched their faces flicker with disbelief, with regret, with understanding that they had underestimated me from the start. I was no longer a failure, no longer a disgrace. I was a force to be reckoned with. This was my revenge, not in words, but in life. I had taken their poison and transformed it into power. I had proved that even in the face of betrayal and humiliation, I could rise. That my story was not written by their cruelty, but